The U.S. Supreme Court is expected to hear arguments in an Oklahoma death penalty case today. The state is seeking to overturn Richard Glossip's 1998 conviction in a murder-for-hire scheme, citing serious mistakes by prosecutors. The Supreme Court granted a rare stay of execution in the case in May. Now the justices will decide whether Glossip gets a new trial or is put to death. ABC News senior Washington reporter David Muir joins me now for more. Devin, what can we expect to happen in court today?
Diane, this is a rare oral argument in a death penalty case, and rarer still at the Supreme Court that both the inmate, Richard Glossip, and the state, which has tried for 27 years to execute him, now on the same side, asking the justices for a retrial to toss out that sentence, as he's been sentenced to death, really scheduled for death 9 times, 3 final meals, and today the justices will hear arguments first over whether they can even intervene. State court decisions are usually final. The justices can't override state courts, and then whether or not the trial that he received and the sentencing he received was unjust.
Devin, you spoke to Oklahoma's Attorney General. What is he saying about why he thinks Glossip didn't get a fair trial? And why did it take this long to get here? I mean, as you say, the man's been served his last meal 3 times already.
Yeah, it's astonishing. And the Republican Attorney General of Oklahoma, Diane, is no opponent of the death penalty. But he told me yesterday in an interview that he believes that this process was flawed. Well, Glossip maintains his innocence. The AG says he doesn't agree with that, but does think the sentence should be reconsidered. Take a listen.
Any one of us could be charged or alleged to have committed a crime. And if we're not given a fair trial, then we are no different than the Star Chamber and a time and place that we've evolved from. Every citizen deserves a fair trial. Whether they're guilty or not, they deserve a fair trial. And that's my standard.
Diane, Glossip was convicted in ordering the killing of his former boss. He didn't actually kill the man. The only evidence linking him to the crime was the testimony of the man who did. And the Attorney General there said prosecutors withheld key evidence. They didn't disclose false testimony. And those flaws, he believes, could have swayed a jury to spare Glossip's life. And now we're in this unusual situation where both the inmate and the Republican Attorney General of a very conservative state are going to ask the Supreme Court today to give him another trial. Diane?
Such an interesting case, Devin. Could this set a precedent for other death row cases?
You know, the death penalty system in this country has been criticized for years, and the Supreme Court has rarely granted relief in these cases, Diane. But depending upon what the justices say here, they could lay out clearer guidelines for lower courts about how to handle these claims of prosecutorial misconduct. Traditionally, the justices sort of shrug them off. They leave it to lower courts to shake things out and to handle these allegations. But the fact that they have taken this case signals they may be ready to offer some sort of clearer guidance about what to do in the future. Diane?
All right, I know you'll be watching. Senior Washington reporter David Muir. Thanks, Devin.
You bet.